And it's a whole other long story that I don't need to get into right now. But I ended up with like 120 gigantic, freshly made cookies in my apartment. And I'm like, I'm 23 years old, and I swear I sustained myself that week on these gigantic cookies, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and watching like 10 episodes of Lost a day.
Hey, I'm Brian.
And I'm Scott.
And welcome to the Two Old Fashions podcast, where two friends get together and have conversations over cocktails. How are we doing tonight, Scott?
Feeling good. I'm not tired. I got a lot of sleep this weekend. I feel good. It's early too. It's still bright outside. This is the earliest we've ever recorded a podcast. That's maybe what's making me so happy.
This is nice. Okay, I am a little concerned that you got so much sleep this weekend because this weekend was Mother's Day. And so huge shout out to all the moms out there. We both have great wives who are moms. We both have great moms. But you should have been working hard all weekend for your wife. What were you doing napping?
I didn't nap. I don't think I napped at all this week. That might be a lie. I think I did nap Saturday morning. Yeah, I did. I did the crucial morning nap before we went to kids sports. Got a little like 30 minutes of shut eye on the couch. But no, I just got some good sleep each night, and so that felt good. But we had a good Mother's Day yesterday. We had the family over, did some grilling, smoked some ribs. Same thing that I've talked about before. 6-hour smoke, 15-minute dinner. But that's okay.
Thought I smelled something good, but then it rained a little, so I think it dampened the smell, making it all the way to my house.
My smoker is not waterproof. Mm-hmm. And so I have to time my smokes appropriately so that they don't get rained on. I have a cover for it. And yeah, sure enough, I was not expecting that thunderstorm to roll through, and the ribs were not ready yet. So I was on pins and needles as to whether or not the smoker was going to stop working, like mid-smoke. I guess we'll see if it starts up again next time I try to smoke something. But yeah, the ribs turned out really, really good.
Nice. Glad to hear it. My wife, her favorite thing is sleeping. So we let her sleep in. She didn't want to do the whole brunch thing, but she wanted to go to a winery in the evening. And so we did, but literally beautiful day, right? Everybody went on a run, did some bike riding. As we're pulling out of the driveway, the rain starts. Yeah. And fortunately, it was kind of hit or miss. And the winery, we were able to be covered for part of it and then back outside. But just, you can't time the weather. I do picture you out there with the smoker with an umbrella.
I debated doing that. I really did debate doing that, but I didn't. I just let it go. Hoped for the best, and it turned out okay.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you earned yourself a drink. So what are you drinking tonight, Scott?
So this one I should have created a clever name for it because it's kind of a concoction. So I started off, I was going to keep it fairly simple. I was going to do some Old Forester bourbon. Yep. One of the high proofs, courtesy of you, Brian.
Yeah, I do my best.
I used the old-fashioned syrup that I talked about last week that I got as a gift, and then I did some Angostura and orange bitters. But here's why it turned into a concoction. I, of course, tried to make a double. It is a double now. I ran out of the Old Forester. I thought I had enough in the bottle, but it was really only about 1.5 shots. So I had to mix in some rye. So I threw in like a half a shot of Sangomore rye.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know if I like it or not. It's a little spicy. It's got a little bite. Mm-hmm. So what's like? Is that allowed? Is that legal to just mix bourbon and rye?
It is, yeah. So I think I was saying that when on the last show I went to Occidental in DC. It's called a split old fashioned. So it's part bourbon, part rye. I mean, old fashions, as far as I understand them, can be any spirit with some kind of sugar and bitters. So you can have a rum old fashioned. You could have bourbon, rye. You could have a Scotch old fashioned. I think it's called like a Rob Roy, maybe. They have different names, but the general concept is spirit, sugar, bitters. So you can do whatever you want. It's your world.
Whatever I want. I know. I don't know why I'm overthinking it.
Yeah. I feel like you should have. Could we name it the Green Polo since we both decided to wear green polos today?
But yours looks so much better than mine.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I should have put on my Taylor Swift shirt because I knew we were going to talk about Taylor, but I decided to dress up for today.
But not all episode. For any of our listeners worried that we're going to do 2 full episodes on Taylor, we are not. We will move on to something else. Well, I went with Another strong one as well. I've not tasted it yet, so we'll see what happens. I went with the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select, also from our whiskey group, which clocks in at 134 proof,
Oh gosh,
which is a lot.
that's a
It's a
lot.
lot. Many people in the group complained about this one, but I enjoy it. I was there on the pick, so it's special to me. Simple syrup, and then I decided to go with a chocolate cherry. So I went
Mm,
with some chocolate bitters and some cherry bitters. So we'll see
nice.
what happens. Well, cheers.
Well, cheers. Hey, really quick on the Mother's Day topic before we move on to our next topic. I got my wife what I think is a game changer of a gift. And I'm a
Ooh,
really bad gift giver.
okay.
And honestly, it's not even that good of a gift. But I do think it's a game changer because it's a daiquiri machine.
Ooh, okay.
But it doesn't just make daiquiris, it can freeze any kind of liquid. So like yesterday we made frozen Gatorades for the kids. We made frozen coffees for us in the morning.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's so easy to clean. Like we have all these gadgets in the kitchen and they're such pains to clean. So you use them once or twice and they never get
Yeah.
used again. This is so easy to clean. I feel like it's a game changer. Like the recipe book it comes with, frozen Coke, frozen Sprites, milkshakes, alcoholic drinks. Like it can make anything. Frozen beer, like crazy stuff. I would never have a frozen beer, but I'm so excited about this machine. I just I want it to get hot outside and then I want to freeze all my drinks.
I was gonna say never, because I think we could do a frozen beer episode and that'd be hilarious. What kind of ice? Just anything
No,
like
no
straight
ice.
out of the fridge?
There's no ice. That's what's
What?
crazy. You just pour the liquid in
Okay.
and it's got this thing that gets really, really cold and it spins it around and it takes 15 minutes
Mm.
and it comes out like a Slurpee.
All right.
The consistency is really good.
I my kids are into these science experiments and stuff, so somehow they found a YouTube video about making homemade ice cream. So we
Oh
tried
yeah.
that. It did not work as well as I had hoped. I don't think I had the right kind of salt to get the ice really, really cold. And my son was like shaking it for about 30 seconds and then he got tired and then told me to shake it for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We got a decent consistency. I would like to try it again. I remember when I was a kid, we had some kind of ice cream ball, and you would do the same thing. We could just roll the ball back and forth, and that
Yeah.
was pretty fun. But I like this invention. Maybe we should do an episode about great gifts that we would want as fathers for Father's Day, and I feel like that would be a
Ooh.
top contender.
That would be good because they always ask me, they being people who want to give me gifts, like, what do you want for your birthday or Father's Day? And I never have a good answer. So that
Yeah.
will make me actually put some thought into it.
All right, we'll do a gift guide. Why not?
Okay. I like it.
All right. Well, my gift to
Maybe
you
we get
is
some sponsorships for that episode.
yes. Anybody that would like us to talk about their product, hit
Yes.
us up.
Yes.
Well, my gift to you is letting you talk about Taylor Swift for 2 episodes in a row. So, as part of our new album of the week content, you had picked Folklore for us to both listen to, and I did my homework. I sent you a picture of me doing my
You
homework.
did? Yes.
So, where do you want to begin? Where do you want to begin?
Well, so I listened to, like I mentioned, the Long Pond sessions, which I
Yes,
think
I
you
did do
did
the
as
same.
well,
Yep.
which is, again, a more stripped down version of an already stripped down album.
Yes. Yep.
It's really just Taylor and two others playing the album acoustically straight through. And I listened to that driving to and from work with a different like ear to it. I mean, I've heard it so many times, but this time I listened to it trying to do the parallels or the connections to emo music because as we talked about last week, Taylor talked about how she was inspired by Dashboard Confessional and Fall Out Boy. And I never really listened to her music in that kind of framing, I guess. I hear it now. I think maybe that is why I liked that album so much because it sounds exactly like the really early Dashboard Confessional albums where it was just him and a guitar or maybe him and some other instrument like a violin or cello or something like that. Those were the albums I listened to in high school. Like a senior in high school, I was listening to those early Dashboard Confessional albums. And it's very, very similar. And maybe that you asked me last week, like what drew me to Taylor? Maybe it was that.
Wow. I feel like we've really pulled at some strings here.
I mean, maybe an invisible string.
Yeah. That's not on this album, is
It
it?
is. It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have it here, not the Long Pond version, but this just helps me with the tracks. Yep, and there it is, in between Illicit Affairs and Mad Woman. So I guess So I listened to it as well. I did the Long Pond one. I did even watch some of it on Disney Plus, so it actually had kind of them talking about it and recording it. I probably could have done without that. I probably didn't need to go that in depth or see the weird faces that Jack Antonoff makes when playing guitar. Didn't
Yeah.
need it. Um, my question for you is, I know she talked about this kind of being the first time that she kind of wrote characters other than herself, but it also seems to intermix with some of the things that they talked about on the New York Times, where, at the end of Last Great American Dynasty, she's like, oh, and it was me that bought the house.
Hmm.
So is it a mix of kind of a third party story and songs about her, or is it all supposed to be kind of this drama of other characters?
I mean, I
Because I
think
really enjoy the songs about the other characters, I should say.
my honest opinion is it's probably whatever you want it to be or whatever she wants it to be at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a songwriter, sometimes you say that the songs are not personal because you don't want people to know that they're personal songs, but they really are personal songs.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing how she has written so many of her songs about personal things, I kind of find it somewhat hard to believe that she just decided for this one very personal album, she's not going to write songs about herself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that tracks. Because I mean, even in the songwriters thing, like they were talking about Mirror Ball and how she reflects her audience and things like that. What I do like about this album, I agree with you. It is super stripped down and transparently from like song called "The One" until Epiphany. They many of them sound the same, and I'm kind of like, which song am I listening to? I like the ones that do kind of take that third party character. I think Cardigan is one. August I really like. Betty I think is great.
Yeah.
So I like this idea of this like world that she created and these characters. Again, I think I got a little confused because I felt like sometimes she was intermixing herself, but maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe because you said it was the best of all the Taylor albums. I was looking for more masterpiece than there could even be.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just as a whole, it's really, really good. Like the sum is greater than its parts or whatever the
Uh-huh.
saying is. I really do
Yeah.
believe that. And even, you get to the very end of the album. You said Epiphany. I think there's like two or three songs after that. Is that right?
Yeah, Epiphany, then Betty, which I really like. Peace, which actually like picks up a little, and then Hoax, and then on this one there appears to be a bonus track called The Lakes.
Yeah. But like Peace and Hoax, I feel like those are just very different songs than she's ever written.
Hmm.
Like Peace, I think it's just a bass guitar. She's just
Yes.
singing over a bass guitar.
Yep.
Um, I just think it's very unique and pretty and good lyrics, just really good songwriting. And again, I think that's why it should be on the list of the top 10 albums of all time. Again, considering when it came out, how she did it, the lyrics, the music, I think just all in all, it's just a very important album for the time period that it was released in.
Yeah. Don't disagree. I don't think it's my favorite of hers, but I get it. I get it. I enjoy it. I do. I told you this before. I get Folklore and Evermore confused. The albums are both kind of grayish.
Yeah.
They're along similar lines. I think if I was like to make my ultimate mixtape of the two, I could create something that I would really, really like.
Somebody told me that, um, again, this is getting down the road in Taylor Swift nerddom, but Folklore is the better record, but Evermore has higher highs.
All right. You can see that. Sorry, try to pick up my album for later's reveal of what we're going to do
Okay.
next week.
Okay.
It fell. All right. You feeling good about Taylor? Feeling like we covered it well?
I think so.
All right. Me too.
And I will make a note though. We talked about this. We've now done what, 10 episodes, I think, of this podcast.
I think so. Big, big double digits.
We got more response, both positive and negative, to any episode we've done or any social media posts that we've done.
Yes,
Last episode was the most we've ever gotten by a significant margin.
that's fair. I mean,
And
she
you know
is
what's
a.
funny though? It wasn't just Taylor Swift fans or Taylor Swift haters. It was also Beatles fans and Beatles haters. There was a
Ooh.
lot of Beatles commenters
Mm.
on the podcast. I thought that
See,
was
I'm actually.
really interesting. I didn't know that they had such staunch defenders or haters because we got
Yeah.
both.
Mm. Well, I think for one of these albums of the week, we'll have to do Beatles one. I almost picked one for today, but I did not. So we
Okay.
will see later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Taylor's advice for now and just stay out of the comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay out of the comments. I had to report a couple because they were
Yes.
not in good taste.
Yeah, some of the ones you texted me, I was like, "What is wrong with people on the internet? And how
No.
did they find us?" Would
How
be
did
my
they
other
find
question.
us?
Yeah, like, are they going in and searching Taylor Swift just so they can write nasty comments? Like,
I think that's what they're doing.
get off the internet, people.
Yeah.
As we sit here talking to each other over the internet.
But
Uh,
all news is good news. So hey, we still appreciated the listens and the comments and the likes and the
yes.
unlikes.
All right. Well, when we were preparing for this episode, you texted me a really good idea. Do you want to tell people what we're going to do tonight?
Well, it's a conversation that I don't think you and I have ever had.
Nope.
I don't think we ever have. It's about TV shows. And, we've gotten in the habit of doing rankings and looking at rankings and things like that over the past few weeks. And we thought it might be fun to just talk through what our favorite TV shows are of all time.
Okay. I might have misunderstood the assignment. We're
Oh,
already in.
we,
I thought we were supposed to do. I mean, it coincides, but I thought we were supposed to do the top five best.
oh, like just in general, not your favorite?
Yeah, but I mean, these are also my favorite. I think we'll be fine.
I mean, you don't have like I Love Lucy or something like that on your list because,
I do not.
okay, then okay, we're probably good.
Yeah. I mean, I also, we may have talked about this. I didn't have cable until like middle or high school. I didn't watch a lot of TV. So these will all be, everything on my list is going to be high school and beyond.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
probably pretty close.
All right. And so I
Well,
thought, we could probably just go back and forth, my five, your five. We'll see where there's overlap. I also wanted to see if you would indulge me in some honorable mentions that did not make my top five.
I would love to, but can you save the honorable mentions until the end? Because I don't
You
want,
think?
like, what if one of
Okay.
your honorable mentions is one of mine, and I don't want any of that back and forth quite yet.
Okay. That's fine. Fair
But
enough.
here's I want to know: do you think we have more than two in common in our top five?
No.
I think we might have two.
I think we have one. And I'm confident we have one.
We have one. Okay,
Yeah. All right. So if we were doing over under, the over under will be 1.5.
I'm going to
I'm
say
going to take the
over.
under, and you're going to take
You're
the
going to
over.
say under. I'll say over.
Yep. All right.
All right. Do you want to go first? We're going to start at our fifth best,
Correct.
leading up to
Yep.
our favorite.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and start. I will
Okay.
kick off with my number five. This show was on FX, I believe, and it is called The Americans,
Ooh.
starring Kerry Russell,
Yeah.
Matthew Rhys, couple in real life. They play Soviet spies living in the DC area. They have a family, and to me, it's just fascinating. Like I didn't grew up in the '80s, but didn't kind of understand everything that was going on. But kind of everything from like the intricacies of their handlers to how they are living a complete double life. And they've got their job, which is spying for the Soviet Union, and then their day to day of getting their kids to school and all this, and how they can compartmentalize the two. The writing I thought was so good. I thought it
Yeah.
was really well cinematically done. And I don't remember how many seasons there were, but I don't feel like this one ever had a fall off. I felt like it was consistently good from beginning to end. And I just remember the finale. Like, frankly, I don't remember what happened in the finale, but I remember being like, that was well done. This brought this to a nice conclusion. So, my
Yeah.
number five, The Americans.
That's a good one. It's not on my top five, but we definitely watched it. Definitely enjoy it. It's probably, I did actually a few years ago do my ranking. It was for a birthday I had, and I did my ranking of my top 60 favorite shows.
You
You
turned
can prob-
60?
my top 60 favorite because you can assume what I was building. Obviously, I was doing a TV Power Hour. Um,
Okay.
the Americans did make the list. I want to say it was probably around 30 or so, but it is a very good
Ooh.
show. I did make me question like how realistic is it? Like how many sleeper cells are living these double lives either
Yeah.
now or back in the Cold War. The only thing I found extremely unrealistic about that show was I believe they lived in Fairfax and they would just drive into the city in like 10 minutes, which we
Yes.
know could never ever happen.
Yeah, I do.
But
I mean, that is the bad thing about shows that happen in the DC area. We know too much, right? And
yeah,
they'll show the metro, and we're like, "That's not our metro. Like that looks like New York, stuff like that." But
I
it
I
was cool that
love
I was like, "Oh, I kind of know where that place is supposed to be."
I love 24 and I lost like complete interest in 24 in the season that took place in DC when they swam to the White House.
Yeah,
You
that
can't.
was
It was like where I don't understand that.
fair.
Um, Sticking with Americans really quick. Have you watched? I think it's called The Diplomat. Kerry Russell's
Love it.
new show.
She's so good. Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like the next iteration of The Americans. It's very
Yes.
similar. She's playing a different character, but it's very similar, and that's a good one too.
Yeah, and then I haven't watched it. I just got previews, but apparently on Apple TV, there's a show with Matthew Rhys, him, called Widow's Bay that's getting good reviews as well.
Well, what about his other one with Claire Danes, The Beast in Me?
Haven't seen that.
That's really good. That might be
Okay.
Netflix. That's a good one. A little
All right.
scary. It's
All
good.
right. So
It's good.
we're fans of these actors and actresses. They
Yes.
do amazing work. What's your number five, Scott?
My number five is Lost.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Lost?
I did. I was a fan.
Lost would be so much higher on my list if it wasn't for that last season. And
Amen.
I tell everyone to just quit after the fifth season because the sixth season is so bad it ruins the enjoyment of the entire show. And some people have told me, no, like now that time has passed, you should go back and watch the sixth season again. It's not as bad as you might remember it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah.
But Lost was the first show that I can remember where it was appointment viewing. You would look forward to it all week. I was living down in Atlanta at the time, and we would have Lost parties on Tuesday nights where all of our friends would get together to watch Lost, and we would just be like theorizing all week about what's going to happen on Lost this week. And the other thing I'll tell you about Lost, I joined Lost late to the game, so the first three seasons had aired, and I never like got into it.
Okay.
Um, but I had a job down in Atlanta that closed the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And one year, I just said, you know what? During that week, I'm just going to stay home and binge the three first seasons of Lost, so I could catch up before the fourth season started. And it's a whole other long story that I don't need to get into right now. But I ended up with like 120 gigantic, freshly made cookies in my apartment. And I'm like, I'm 23 years old, and I swear I sustained myself that week on these gigantic cookies, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and watching like 10 episodes of Lost a day. And I would stay up till 2 a.m. just watching Lost, eating my cookies and drinking my beer. And it was like the best. And now whenever I drink a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, I think about those cookies and I think about Lost.
That is impressive. Can you still recite the numbers?
Ooh,
4, 8, 15.
16.
Yeah. 35, 42?
Maybe. I don't
I
know. I
don't
don't know
know.
if I ever could recite those numbers. I guess maybe
Okay.
at some point I could have.
So if you can't tell, I was also very into Lost. It did not make my top five. It is an honorable mention exactly because you said.
Yes.
The last season was so bad, and they told us the whole time it was not purgatory. And then it was. So,
Yeah.
like, come on. But I'm with you. The reason I liked it, one, we started, my wife and I, we were dating at the time. So the season aired. This is back when, like, you didn't have kind of DVR and all that to the extent that you do now. And it got well reviewed. And then they replayed the season in repeats. And so we started in the repeats of season one.
Hmm.
And she was somewhere and I was somewhere, but we would like talk about the show afterwards. Like we both watch it. So your point, appointment viewing. And this was the first show that I remember that kind of had like an internet thing next to
Yeah.
it, right? Like you would go online and look at the message boards and like figure out like, oh, what is the Dharma Initiative? Or what do you think about Polly's on the ship or something? And then there was a book, right? Like I read
Yep.
the book that they pretended they found on the beach. So it was like a show, but it was also an experience and a mystery. So again, I really liked it. Great cast. They just ruined it at the end, and I couldn't put it in my top five.
I'm like getting shivers just talking about it because I remember how excited I used to be, and just remember how painful the cliffhangers were. First of all, week to week
Between
cliffhangers,
seasons?
but between seasons, yeah, you had to wait like months.
Yep. Yes.
Brutal.
I know.
That feeling will never be replicated because that was the first. I feel like it was the first one. If it wasn't the
Yeah.
first one, it was the first meaningful one, and now it just will never be replicated.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Should I do my four or do you want to do your four and
I'll
then
do
I'll do
four
mine?
now.
Okay.
Number four is Sopranos for me. Sopranos probably at one point was number one on my list. It has kind of fallen as I've matured or just thought about things a little bit more. I don't really know exactly what it is, but that's another one where it was so well done. And what I really loved most about Sopranos at the time was the world building. Actually, Lost is the same world building, right? There's 100 characters you got to know. Sopranos, there were 100 characters you had to know. Um, it was funny. It was so well acted. The drama was unbelievable. You just got so invested in the characters. And again, it was pioneering. It was one of the first dramas of that magnitude. I don't want to say it was as appointment viewing as Lost was, but I think to some people it was. I mean, I guess it wasn't for me, but for some people it was. Sunday night, HBO,
Yep.
and the opposite of Lost. That last season of Sopranos, every single episode, maybe there were 10 episodes in that last season. I don't really remember. Every single one was like a mini movie. And I would watch the episode Sunday night. And then Monday, I'd come home from work and watch it again because I knew I was missing something. It was so good. And
Okay.
even now, sometimes when I'm just completely bored, I'll turn on one of those episodes from that last season because it's just so good.
So you're gonna hate me. Never seen it. Not an
Well,
episode.
you probably need to add that to your list of things to do.
I should. I know and I'm guessing there's going to be another one on your list where I just felt like I missed the window,
Yeah.
right? And like, I just don't know if I can go back. I should, but then there's so much new stuff I want to watch. But
There's so
I
much
hear
new
great
stuff.
things. I feel like I missed it. And again, like I think we might both have some Sunday night HBO shows on this list because I feel
Yeah.
like that is what they call peak TV, right?
Yeah. What was your
All
four?
right. Let's see. My number four. Oh, speak of the devil. Sunday night HBO show. This one was True Detective season one.
Ooh.
Matthew McConaughey and my
Woody
gosh,
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Yes, this one the cinematography on it. It takes place in very rural Louisiana. These two detectives are trying to solve this mystery, and it goes back and forth in different timelines, which other shows have done. I just thought
Hmm.
they did it extremely well. And it was a very perverse murder they were trying to solve. So it was like
Yeah.
disturbing, but you're in it and you want them to figure this out, but there's forces against them. And then I still just remember back to the cinematography, there's this one very long single shot take, and it's probably 15 or 20 minutes where they get in a gunfight and
Hmm.
they're trying to track down a person, and I just blew my mind how well that was done. I think the writing is great, the acting was phenomenal, and just really drew me in from the beginning. And this was another one that every Sunday night, like appointment viewing, you got to be
Yeah.
there.
So I've seen it. It did not make my top 60 list that I
Oh,
made, I'll be honest. And I know why. I didn't watch it live. I got the DVD set or the Blu ray set as a gift a year or two after it aired. And it had been hyped so much. And I think because it was so hyped, it couldn't live up to it. So it was definitely good. And I definitely watched True Detective season two, even though it's a whole different story. Watched season two, was disappointed.
it
Watched
was.
season three, was disappointed, and I said, that's the end of True Detective for me.
Yeah, three was
Um,
better than two, but I get it.
I mean, I couldn't even tell you. It was three, the one with Chris Rock. Is Chris Rock in it? I don't even. Am I making that up? I don't even know.
It's somebody else.
Vince Vaughn's in one, right?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is in season two. That one didn't do well.
That was no good. What
And
was
then
season
Jodie
three?
Foster's in season four. I'm gonna butcher his name, but Mahershala Ali is in season
Oh,
three.
oh, no. So Chris Rock is in Fargo. Sorry,
Okay.
that's what I'm getting confused about.
Yeah.
Um, no, but I didn't watch any of those.
All right. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like sometimes things, and part of that's why I don't want to do
I agree.
Sopranos because I'm
That's
like,
the problem.
it's been up here. I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
So, all right. Should I do my three?
Go three.
All right. Another HBO Sunday night Succession. So this is going to be the
Ooh,
most recent one
yeah.
on my list. I thought this was again just so well written. The characters, this, and we'll kind of talk about this. I think when we get to my season one, none of the characters are, or I'm sorry, my first pick, but none of these characters are very likable. They're actually all very unlikable. To the point where like my wife's like, I don't want to watch this show. Like there's nobody to root for, and I get that. I just thought it was so well written. I've worked in and out of the media industry for several years, so kind of like get that idea. The Succession is loosely based on the Murdoch family, but this was one similar to the idea of Lost, right? Like every week I was actually listening to a podcast about Succession,
Hmm.
going deeper and trying to learn more. It was a great one. It was from Slate and had people from various publications, but somebody was a finance reporter and kind of knew the ins and outs of the Murdoch. Somebody was a television critic talking about kind of like the scene setting and everything. So it was one that I really wanted to go deeper in. I thought again the characters were so well written, and then spoiler alert for all of the people that haven't seen it. Sorry, the ending is the guy Tom Wamsgans ends up succeeding everybody to take over. If you look up Tom Wamsgans in Wikipedia, he's, I believe, the only Major League Baseball player to turn a triple play in the World Series. Knocked out, so knocked out all three of his competitors in one swing, the siblings, and went over the top. So like the answer was in there from episode one, who was going to win if you did enough research.
Never heard that.
I just thought that was mic drop brilliant.
Um, yeah, I really like Succession. It's a really good one. I've recommended it to people who hadn't seen it. Um, it made my list. I do question though, can something so recent that just ended what 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Can something so recent make your top shows of all time? Is that allowed? Doesn't it have to
Yeah,
like you can't make the Hall of Fame until you've been retired for 5 years.
why not?
It's in the rules.
Well, not our rules. This is our podcast. I didn't get any fine print in your text last night saying this had to be 5 years or older. I think it will age very well.
I think you're right. I think that's a aggressive choice because it's so recent, but
Yep.
it was really good. I would be open to watching it a second time because I didn't know that fun fact about the triple play. There might be some other nuggets hidden in there that you don't
I
realize
think
until you watch it a second time.
I think there are.
Well, hey, we're on a string of HBO shows. So
We're gonna keep it going.
my number three is The Wire.
Mm.
The Wire is another one that you have not watched, I believe. Is that right?
Well, since we're gonna just get to it, The Wire is my number two.
Oh, The Wire. You have watched number two.
I
Okay.
have
Oh, you
watched
have
The
watched
Wire.
The Wire.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. For some reason I thought maybe you hadn't watched it.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I
talk
have.
about world building
Yes.
again. It's a huge world. There's hundreds of characters. Every season introduces another, 10 to 20 characters, and they just keep hanging around. And every season's different, where you get exposed to the school system and the drug dealers and the
Docs.
media and the docs, and it's so well done. And I used to always say Sopranos was my favorite show, and then I watched The Wire, and The Wire was like Sopranos for adults,
Yep.
and that's like a strange thing to say until you've seen them and you realize it's so much more serious, but it's still funny and it's still
Yeah.
it's so well done. And I know this isn't going to make sense, even though The Wire is my third favorite show on this list. I'm contradicting myself here. Even though it's number three on my list, it is my favorite show of all time.
Okay.
And I will
I would.
explain why two and one are what they are.
Okay.
But yeah, The Wire is the best show that's ever been created. It'll never be topped.
Yeah, I actually went back and forth between this and my number one, which was going to be number one. I would say similar to your Lost story. So I actually had a client who I really respect, was like, "You got to watch this show, The Wire," but he put a caveat. He goes, "You might not like it after the first, maybe the second episode. You just
Yeah.
got to push through those." And I remember vividly, it was a New Year's Day, back pre-kids, and so my wife and I were just on the couch, and I was like, "Let's start this." And we watched the first one, and she was like, "Don't know if we can keep going." I was like, "We've got to." Like, I've been warned, and I'm so glad we did because, like you said, like the characters, the world, and you and I live what 2 hours from Baltimore, but the world they created is very different than the
Yeah.
world we live in. But it was also felt like so realistic. Like you felt like you were McNulty some days, or somebody on the dock workers the other days, and they did such a good job with it.
Yeah, I tell people the same exact thing. You have to commit to watching the first three episodes in a row. You have to sit down
Mm-hmm.
and give yourself 3 hours. Otherwise, you're going to be lost because there's so many characters. You're not
Yep.
going to know what's going on until you watch the first three episodes in a row. And even after that, I remember myself thinking like, okay, the show's good. I'll keep watching. And I watched episode 5, 6, and then I think it's episode 7. I could be wrong about that, but something happens as a cliffhanger in the middle of season 1. And when that cliffhanger hit, that was when I was all in. It's like, oh my
Okay.
God, I got to see what happens next. And that's when the brilliance comes in. And after
Mm-hmm.
that, you're hooked.
Yep.
That's so good. That
Oh,
show.
so good. That is one that I would go back and rewatch, and I feel like
Yeah,
it would still do well.
it would still absolutely. And there's so many things that are happening in that show. Um, how do I say this without spoiling for anyone who hasn't watched it? There is a very
Now, I think
big
we're past the statute of limitations. If people have, I just spoiled Succession. Like,
There is something very, very big that happens in season 5, and a little kid does it in a convenience store. You all know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
I think in season 3, that same little kid who's not even like he's obviously an actor, but he's not a character in the show yet. But they brought that kid in, and he's in the background talking about what he's going to do in season 5.
Wow.
So they planned 2 seasons in advance for this no-name kid who's not a character yet to do like
Yep.
one of the biggest things in the show 2 seasons later.
Mm. I will say that strikes me as the benefit of some of these arcs, right? Like knowing when it's going to end. I think going back to Lost,
Yeah,
I think they were trying to get renewed season by season
they
and
were.
didn't know kind of how to thread that needle or tie those strings versus I think, you know, fortunately it sounds like HBO is a great steward for artists and they know like, all right, I've got this many seasons. Succession was the same way. They knew they they said they asked them to go more and they're like, we're done. This is the story and we're going to cap it here.
But for The Wire, they weren't going to renew it for the 5th season. They
Oh,
were going to
really?
end it after 4. And if
Oh,
you like, I
interesting.
think seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 are both, or all 4 of them are 13 episodes. Season 5 is only, I think, 10 episodes
Hmm.
because um, what's his name? David,
David E. Kelly, I believe.
is it David Kelly? He like begged HBO to like let him finish the story, and so they gave him 10 episodes versus
Oh,
13,
wow.
and that's why it's so condensed. A lot happens in a very short number of episodes in season
Interesting.
5.
Okay. Good to know. All right, so that was one. We have
So that
one on the list that is the same for both of us.
so
Will
that's
we have
one,
one
right?
more?
So my number 2. So you just said what your number 2 was.
Yep.
My number 2 is Friends, and I've always loved Friends. I watched
Okay.
Friends growing up. The reason why I put Friends as number 2, again, I would say The Wire is my favorite show of all time, but I put Friends as number 2 because of its rewatchability.
Fair.
Friends is something that if it's on TV and I'm just like laying on the couch or you just want something on in the background, you can put Friends on and still be entertained. And I don't care how many times I've seen these episodes, it's still entertaining and it'll still keep me interested. And
Yep.
so I was thinking, like, in terms of realistically all time favorite shows, Friends probably needs to be higher than The Wire because of how much longevity it's had and the staying power. And what Lisa Kudrow was interviewed the other day, and I think she said that the actors on Friends still make $20 million a year in royalties because it is in syndication in so many different countries. And so many people from different countries say that they have learned the English language
I was
because
going
they
to say that.
watched Friends in their
Yep.
home country.
Yes. I've heard that, and I've heard it's because the scripting is actually pretty easy to follow along,
Yeah.
which I think does bode well for the rewatchability. Yeah, I was a big Friends fan. Did not make my top five or honorable mentions, but I understand it. I like that was, I mean, the finale, right? Like that was another one that ended really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. That's the only comedy we've had on the list.
That's the only comedy so far.
All right. All
So you're
right. Well,
number
my
one.
number one is not a comedy, so should I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So, like I said, I went back and forth between this and The Wire. This is another one where I just felt like the world building was great, the acting was great, and being kind of in the advertising world, I thought, this
Mm.
was many, many generations before me, but Mad Men, I thought just was
Yeah.
so good. Obviously, made the careers of John Hamm, Christina Hendricks, January Jones, others as well, written so well, takes you back to a different world than you or I have ever experienced, and just full arc again, beginning to end, solid finale, so well written. Ones that I wouldn't say I would watch it on. I actually do think it was a Sunday show. I wouldn't watch it again on Monday, but when I did happen to flip on a repeat, I would like, oh, that is great. And
Yeah.
so what I was talking about though earlier, back to Succession, this was kind of the first one that I was familiar with, that I was a fan of, that had an anti-hero, right? Like John Hamm's character, Don Draper, not not the guy that most people are rooting for, right? He was a philanderer, he was mean to his employees, like not somebody that you kind of want to emulate, but fascinating as a character to observe. So
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Again, I just still remember like the scene where they got their first computer and it took up
Mm.
a whole room, the size of the room that you or I are in. And now we've got more power than that in our phones. So just kind of watching that, it being in the industry that I'm in, and then it just being so well written and the characters. So Mad Men coming in strong at my number one.
I love Mad Men, and it's so funny that's your number one because literally this weekend, my wife and I were debating whether or not we should watch Mad Men. She's never seen it.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, I'm all for it. Let's go back and do it again because I haven't watched it since it was, airing live
Yeah.
15 years ago or whatever it was. Um, I'm concerned she's going to think it's too slow though because she has a tendency to fall asleep on the couch. That's
Yep.
our only hesitation.
Fair. There's not a
But
lot of action.
but yeah, I was like on YouTube. My kids were at football practice, and I'm just like killing time. I was on YouTube. I watched like a 25-minute thing on why the episode "Close the Door, Take a Seat," which is the finale of season 3.
Okay.
Why that's like the best single episode of TV ever.
Ooh.
And I'm
Have to
watching this thing.
rewatch
I'm
that
like,
one.
yeah, like I kind of get it. I believe it. Um, Such a good show, and you see how like I don't know how to describe it. It gets like so much more colorful, right? As they get more and more into the 60s, right? It starts in like
Hmm.
1961, ends in
Yep.
69, and you really see how just life got, I don't know what's the word, more
Colorful.
colorful.
Vibrant. Vibrant.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's so cool. It's so well done.
And our man Don Draper was a fan of the old fashioned. So makes sense for this podcast.
That's a good point. And it wasn't John Hamm a nobody. He was a nobody. That was his first real acting gig.
Don't quote me on this. I think he was a high school gym coach in St. Louis when this thing started.
He's
I
one
know
of my
he's from St. Louis. That part you can quote me on. High school gym teacher could go either way.
I,
But
I
yes,
know
he
he
was
had
he
never
was
done
unknown at that point.
Yeah, he had never done anything of substance until that
Right.
show, and now
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite actors. He's so funny.
Yep.
And we're watching his other new show, our friends and
Oh,
neighbors.
Friends and Neighbors. Yes,
That's a good one too.
it is. I watched season one. My wife's getting caught up on that, so we can watch season two together.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's
Everything
good.
he does, even like he was on 30 Rock. He's just
Yep.
really funny. He's good.
Yeah. All right. We've been waiting all night, Scott. What's your number one?
Well, so it's the same thing as with Friends, where it's a show that you can always just have on in the background and laugh and enjoy, and it's got to be Seinfeld. Seinfeld was It was a pioneering comedy, and it still holds up. Some of those episodes are still so funny. And so while again I'm contradicting myself, right? This is my list of my five favorite shows, and I don't think it's my favorite show, but I do think it's like my favorite show of all time. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes, and I get people really. I The humor is a little too dry for me. I remember watching it. I enjoyed it. Went to the finale. That's one where I feel like the finale was very divisive. People either
It was no
loved it
good.
or hated it.
They couldn't live up to the expectations.
Yeah, which is fair. Do you have a favorite character? Do you have a favorite story arc?
It's just like some stupid ones, like when they go down to Boca Raton and like he's with all the old people. It's just like it's so stupid,
Yeah,
but it's so funny and it's so real. And as people who have grown up with grandparents who lived in Florida, it's like it's just so real. And that's Jerry Seinfeld's humor.
yeah.
I don't know.
I liked Costanza. I thought his arc when he was working for the Yankees, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I'll say. So I know Succession. Obviously, we just talked about it. It ended 2 years ago. They don't make TV like they used to. They don't.
Well, they certainly don't make 30-minute comedies like they used
No.
to. Which drives me nuts. That's all I want some nights before I go to bed. Like I get that, we are in the age of prestige TV. We have these intense hour-long dramas. Sometimes I just want to laugh and fall asleep. Like that's what I want.
And we tried like the Scrubs reboot. Scrubs is kind of
Okay.
silly and lighthearted and like it's fine, but it's not. It's not a Seinfeld or a Friends.
Yeah. I will say so the version of Friends so you had two NBC Thursday night like
Yeah.
that was prime like I
Yeah.
believe I wasn't a big I never watched it but ER was kind of the 10 o'clock drama that came after those two and they had a series of rotating other comedies in there as well but like that was the Thursday night go to.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, must see TV that doesn't exist. It's all
No.
streaming.
Yeah.
We're so old.
Yeah. So my equivalent, I shouldn't say equivalent because that it's not an equivalent, but my honorable mention that is a comedy. Well, I had two. One was How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that.
Me
That
too.
I felt like was kind of like the Friends, maybe for the next generation.
I'd agree with that.
And then Silicon Valley. I thought
Mm.
that was hilarious.
I started that and I don't think I made it past like the first two episodes, not because I didn't like it. I think I enjoyed it. It's just life got in the way and I never went back to it. So I
Yeah.
should go back to it.
Yeah, and I think that would age well because like you can kind of see like they're trying to this is the Elon Musk character and this is the Sergey Brin, this is the Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
You kind of get the characters they're trying to mimic. My other two on my honorable mentions were Lost,
Yeah.
24, which I really enjoyed for the novelty of each episode was an hour in real life. And this was one similar to you, like we'd get together with our friends and watch.
We would too in
And
college.
then I thought Ozark was really well done. Very dark, but I enjoyed that.
24, the first three seasons of 24, I think are unbeatable.
Yeah.
It's so good. Then it was always over the top and silly, but season four on, it's like so over the top and silly. It's just so hard to believe. But Jack
Yeah.
Bauer, one of the best characters of all time. Ozark, I never finished the first season. I don't know why. I just never finished the first season. I
Yeah.
probably watched 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay. It's worth it. And again, very dark, very interesting. Jason Bateman, I think, is
Yeah.
great in many things.
So what about on Jason Bateman, Arrested Development?
Nope. Too dry.
No?
So like Always Sunny, like those guys, I just never
No?
got into them.
What about like The Office? The Office I debated making top five.
I enjoy The Office. I think I've talked to several people about The Office. I think if you've never worked an office job,
Yeah.
it doesn't click. My mom was a teacher, my dad was in sales and like out of remote before remote was a thing. And like neither of them like kind of got it in the same way that if you are in an office, you do.
Yeah.
That one's tough because I feel like after Michael Scott departed, it wasn't the same show, and
Yeah,
it
it
just kept
wasn't.
going
It
and
wasn't.
kept going and it kept going.
The other one I'll say, because we've been watching it again now with our oldest son, is Modern Family. And
That's good.
I forgot how funny Modern Family is, and that holds up. And it's really funny watching with him, who's 10. He's about to turn 11, and a lot's going over his head. A lot isn't going over his head, but I think he's pretending it's going over his head.
Yep.
It's really well done, and there's a lot in that show too where I think watching it like a second time, I remember some of these from when we watched it when it aired in real time. That they're planting the seeds, and there's a lot of like layered jokes. That's really well done.
Yes, I agree. That is one if I'm, just flipping through the guide on YouTube TV that I'm going to stop on if
Yeah,
I've got some time to kill.
yeah. Well, that was fun. That makes me want. Usually, I want to listen to music, but now I just want to watch. Honestly, I want to watch Mad Men right now.
Well, right, you should. So, okay, so you're saying season 3 finale. That's the one I got to go back and rewatch.
I think it's season 3. It's yeah.
Okay.
Close the door, take a seat.
Close the door, take a seat. I will. All right. Yeah, I agree. That was fun. You said you want to listen to some music, so we will at least preview our. I dropped it again. I got to go find it. Stuck in my chair. All right, so decided to switch it up a little bit. This is a older album. Let me see if I can look at the copyright. Yes, 2008. It's okay, not that old, but very, very short songs. So this isn't the Beatles, but very pop, cool songs, I think. This is Vampire Weekend's debut album, Vampire Weekend. So anybody that's listening along, check it out this week, and we will talk about it next week.
You know what's funny? I don't remember. Look on the track list. Is the track list on the back of that album?
It is. Yep.
Is there a song called like? What's the song that starts with an A?
A-Punk.
A-Punk.
Track 3. Yep.
So I have that album on my iTunes,
Okay.
and when I plug my phone into my car, it just automatically plays the number one or the first song in the alphabetical order.
Yep. Because it's A and then it's a dash.
And it always plays that song. And I skip it every single time because I don't want to hear it anymore. So I couldn't tell you how it goes. But you showed me what the album looked like, and it immediately triggered that's the first song that plays.
Man, that is 2 minutes and 17 of pure fun. Like I would want to start every car ride with that, to be honest.
You know how you can go on your iTunes if you use iTunes, and it has a playlist of your most played songs, and it tells you how many times you've played it.
Yeah.
A-Punk is like 12,732, and the second most played song is like 55.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I have that album. I couldn't tell you anything about it, so I look forward to listening to it.
Well, you're gonna have to next week.
Why did you pick that up?
Honestly, I was looking through my record collection, wanted something that I could hold up and show, and wanted to kind of veer away from what we've been doing recently, like Sturgill, Cutting Grass, slow bluegrass, Taylor, very slow. This one, quick, energetic. Just figured, as we're heading into spring, rounding the corner to summer, like, let's go.
Okay.
And I love this album. It just reminds me, so '08 was about 3 years out of college for me. It was just like a fun time.
I will listen to it on my drive tomorrow.
It won't take you long. I think it's only 30 minutes. So we could, you know what? I'll save it for the next one.
Save it for next week.
Yeah. Well, Scott, this has been amazing. Great topic. Super fun.
This was fun.
Cheers.
Cheers. See you next week.
All right. See you out there.